Welcome to Developing Leadership the Genuine Contact Way, where we're focused on nourishing a culture of leadership by applying timeless principles of life to the art of leadership. In each episode, we'll be exploring one key principle. We'll share our own wisdom and insights, and of course, invite you to consider your own experiences in life and business so far, and look at how you want to further your leadership development with this theme. Our theme this week is all about authenticity. I'm Rachel Bolton, and I'm here with Birgit Williams. We want to start today by looking at the essence of authenticity. At its core, authenticity is simply about being true to oneself. The state of authenticity is about dealing with reality as it is instead of how you wish it to be. Authenticity requires leaders to be in their personal integrity consistently as they deal with themselves and others. This builds trust and respect.
Words that come to me when I think about authenticity are discipline, the discipline of being in one's integrity, and impeccability. Both of those come together for me when I'm working with my own authenticity, staying in that authenticity, staying in that integrity. I experience it as a discipline of myself, with myself, to be absolutely impeccable with it. I do offer leadership in different contexts, and it is my deepest belief that by being impeccable with my authenticity, people can trust me.
That impeccability is a really important quality to generate. And I think it's important to acknowledge that authenticity doesn't always equal being liked. But what's important about it, because sometimes you have to stand by the truth, even if it's hard to say or hard to hear, is that at the end of the day, people will trust and respect you simply because they can count on you to tell them the truth and to do what is right. Being authentic allows coworkers the opportunity to be authentic too.
At that point that you made, Rachel, you might or might not be liked for who you are when you're in your authenticity. And that's okay. That's part of developing this leadership capacity, is to be so much in your own integrity, in your authenticity, and being impeccable with it, that you stand within yourself. And it is actually not so important if someone chooses to like or dislike you.
I think, we've been talking about authenticity from the perspective of our authenticity with others, very much so in the last couple of minutes. But it's so important to look at authenticity from the way that we experience our relationship with ourselves too. When we are in our truth with ourselves, we can be much more comfortable with ourselves. We can be much more at ease, look at ourselves in the mirror, sleep at night, do all of those things with a greater level of comfort because we know that we've done our best from the truth as best we understand it.
And that is also, Rachel, where that consistency that you spoke about comes from. And people experience us as being consistent. And a word I want to introduce is the word coherent. We approach life with a coherence, and people experience us as being coherent within our own self, so they're not having to second guess who we are, what our mood is, whether our opinion is swaying with the wind.
Absolutely. So I think it's important to turn to how we can develop leadership capacity with authenticity. And we want to share with you one of our favorite exercises. I think that we recommend this one to people in all sorts of different reasons. But one of the things that it absolutely does is helping us to develop our authenticity in a very intimate and personal way, really working on that authenticity with self so that it can shine out into the way that we show up with others. One step is about understanding your integrity, understanding your authenticity so that you can understand how you define yourself. Are you in that coherence with the way that you understand who you are in the world? So, a way of strengthening that is by making sure that you're really clear about who you are. And this is a relatively simple task. It only takes a couple of minutes, but it can have some absolutely profound results when you practice it over time. And that's to begin every morning, as soon as you can after you're waking up, before lots of your thoughts of the day have intruded, and particularly before you have looked at your phone or checked your email. Make sure that you grab a piece of paper or a notebook and write down a list of whatever comes to you as you finish the sentence, I am. You know, it might be, I am creative, I am strong, I am happy, whatever those things are that you want to embody in yourself, in your understanding of yourself. Then to reflect about what you wrote down, deciding if it is true for you, to who you are, to your integrity. And that's a little bit different than, is it who I want to be? It really is about, is it how I am showing up today? Can I honestly say that yes, this is me? Throughout the day, then, keep track of what you're saying after you begin any sentence that is an I sentence, an I am sentence. And at the end of the day, to reflect about the difference between the list you made in the morning and the ways you define yourself through the day with your I am phrases. This reflection, this tracking of those I am sentences helps you to make the choice about closing the gap between how you define yourself in that morning list and the balance of the day. That really helps you to strengthen your capacity around your authenticity, to strengthen your sense of your authenticity in yourself, bringing awareness of yourself to yourself, how you're showing up for yourself in the world. You're developing that leadership capacity of authenticity by bringing those things into alignment.
An example of what I might write down at the start of a day might be, I am strong, I am courageous, I am gentle, I am peaceful. You know, those kinds of words that tend to be the ones that come. And then in the course of the day, and I have stopped myself from doing this, but when I was first doing this exercise, here's what I caught myself saying. I caught myself saying words like, I am sorry. You know, I'm sorry, you know, for being late, or I'm sorry about that letter, or whatever. And then at the end of the day, when I reflected, as my goodness, on the one hand, I'm saying, I am strong, I am courageous, I'm, you know, whatever I'm saying. And then partway through the day, I'm saying, I am sorry, or I am tired. And I'm defining myself in a completely different way than I did in the morning. And I have looked at that. I have closed the gap. I have stopped myself from saying words through the course of the day, such as, I am sorry, or I am tired. I can say I feel sorry or I feel tired, but I am unwilling to define myself that way. I want to come out strong and strengthen myself and remain strong in my leadership capacity with my initial definitions of how I'm showing up today. I am amazing.
Absolutely. It reminds me of, I think another pitfall one that we often say, generally speaking in society at this time, is that one of like, someone says to you, like, how are you? And the answer is like, I'm so busy. Well, that's not actually how you are, right? Your state of being might be happy, or it might be, like whatever it might be. Busy is, it's one of my pet peeve words, I guess. And reflecting on, like, is busy actually a beneficial thing, or am I choosing actively to fill my life with rich experiences that keep me motivated and entertained, or whatever it might be, that you reframe some of these words that are less harmful to that sense of your authenticity of self, because busy is not actually really an authentic, beneficial human state. And it goes so far that every year when there's all those new calendars that come out, there's actually one in our local bookstore every year that it's your like annual calendar where you're going to keep track of what you're doing with your life, and the front of it says, I am busy. And it always makes me want to take them all off the shelf and relabel them somehow because of this exact practice.
With the I am amazing, I am strong, I am exceptional leader, any of those words,
Much better choices.
much better.
Absolutely. So we're coming now to the end of our exploration for today on authenticity, knowing that it is a lifelong practice to continue to develop that sense of our own authenticity, and how we develop the courage, I think, to show up fully in our authenticity for as much of the day as we possibly can manage. Before we sign off, Birgit, of course, I always like to check in and see if there's any final thoughts that are percolating for you about the topic. So for today, is there anything else about authenticity that's feeling important for you?
To remember that it's a choice. And if you choose to be authentic, be true to yourself, there is a discipline involved. And even if the start of the discipline is these simple steps that we've offered to you, and they're really quite simple, and in fact, they're easy to follow if you discipline yourself to pay attention to whatever you say when you say the words I am, and to start course correcting towards your authentic self. So you get into that choice, then the discipline, and then being impeccable with showing up with your authentic self. And Rachel, as you said, for as much of the day as you possibly can.
Yeah, I think that last part's really important, because it's the piece that lets you do this work without assigning any judgment or blame to yourself for those moments when you don't. And that's a really key to being authentic in yourself too, is going back to what we said at the very beginning about honoring what is really true right now. And when we get good at honoring what is true right now, there's so much power in then making that choice of how we want to show up the next time. With that, we come to the end of today. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Birgit, for joining me and having this rich conversation. I always like when we can share good stories and have good laughter. We want to invite you to be sure to check out the next episode to continue your learning. And before you go, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you will be sure to get notification of all of our upcoming episodes.